Hi, my name is Steph Johnson and I'm the Children's Director here at Hope Church, and I'm bringing you your devotional today. Today it's out of Luke, so it's one of the Gospels at the beginning of the New Testament, and we're going to be in chapter 23, verse 46. So I'll read that verse to you. Jesus called out with a loud voice, "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit." When he had said this, he breathed his last. This is a weighty verse to do a devotional on, because as I looked into that, I thought, wow, this was the end of this journey to the cross for him, but we know full well that it wasn't the end of the story. And what I want to look at is what those words mean when it says, "Into your hands I commit my spirit." I mean, what can we learn from that? How can we take that and apply something from that into our lives? And what I noticed about it was that it's a perfect example of how Jesus trusted God the Father, and he did that from the very beginning. He knew from the beginning what his purpose on earth was. He was here to preach the gospel to people. He followed God's will step by step in perfect trust. He never doubted the Father's will for him, and he continued to walk in that, trusting in a way that we probably never can or will, but we continue to strive towards that. So he died willingly. He knew what was happening. He died not painlessly, but confidently. We know that he knew what he was getting himself into, and he came anyway, and he did what God called him to do, and he was confident in God's plan enough to go through with something that horrible. And yet he knew it was going to be beautiful. So he also went into his death knowingly. So he knew that it was a beautiful thing and that it was the only way, and it wasn't going to be easy, but he was willing to trust God enough to do that. And I think we can learn a lot from his example of how to follow Jesus, or how to follow God, that he trusted God the Father. So we can follow Jesus' example in that. And one last thing that I guess I thought was interesting, just that he gave us an example of how to die. And I know that one of the other devotionals I did was on fear, and a lot of people have a fear of death, or that's just a scary thing for them. And not that it isn't scary to think about, and I'm not asking you to pretend that it's not sometimes, but I do think that he died confidently because he trusted in God so perfectly. And if we can take that example, when we think about death or when we're fearing death, we can know that because Jesus died for us, we can die confidently as well. We have the option to die confidently, knowing and trusting in perfect trust that God the Father is in control and he has a plan. And Jesus set that example for us. He died trusting, and we can do that as well.